I knew something was wrong today because all of my technology was messing up. And one of my gifts is that I'm a techno empath and that I see myself in the technology and I can readily form a disturbing connection with the technology so that it alters itself or that it is given a type of personality. And so today, all my technology was being really weird. And for those that don't understand what I'm talking about, you've all had that moment when your phone is acting up and you don't know why. So you can relate with what I'm saying. But my laptop wasn't working. The keyboard has an error, and so you have to divide with these things. Kind of, you have to say, okay, um, as you adapt with this technology organism, um, it rebuilds, it heals from things. So you may drop it, so it's some things happen, and it adapts. So with my laptop, uh, there's like a pattern of keys that don't work on the keyboard, and sometimes they come back to life, and they glitch and they act up, and literally I have to wave my hands over it in order to get it to work. And if that doesn't work and I try some things and I have to stop, I have to separate from the technology. And this is the universe's way of saying to me that I need to go do something else. I need to go look somewhere else. I need to see what else is happening. So it's my sign to run. And then when I get the bugs around me, this is also like a kind of like a low vibration day in which I need to go fix something or something else. And when I have butterflies that come around me, this is a day in which, okay, I'm giving everything I wanted. This is a day of asking, and these are how we choose and listen to our signs, signals, and triggers. And with these tools, we're allowed to open up and allow our environment. Take off your shoes when outside so that you can ground. Allow our environment. Expose yourself to the sun so that you can use your melanin to absorb all frequencies of energy. All high level entities can transform through you by allowing the sun to in, transduce and charge your body. So verily so today, all the technology was just wrong. All of the desires for me to go into the external entity that is the laptop and the cell phone were rejected. So I turned to the Bible and I was like, okay, I need to read the Bible then. And then once I got enough, you know that you're fed when your mind begins to wander to extreme sin. When you're into the Bible so much and then your mind just wanders into extreme sin, that's when you need to get out of the Bible and try to go share or relate or express or meditate on something while you're doing an action. So what I like to do is I like to take my cat for a walk in the jungle. I try to help him hunt, and then I just meditate on what I just read or what I just listened to. And this is a way of using magic to solidify your power. And so verily so. Um, Today's topic is about generational trauma, and this message is to break the bonds and to break the ties that keep our consciousness back and keep us held down with this type of social burden that we need to dress ourselves up every day in a different way to impress somebody. That feeling has to be let go because we were all hurt. We all have to go through this separation. We all have to kind of immerse ourselves in solitary at some point so that we can understand um, to not be affected or captured by our surroundings or our extremities. We have to realize that we're only in control of ourselves and that we are responsible for our healing and our transformation. And so if your mom tells you that you can't remember past a certain point, you have to reject that feeling. You have to reject it and say no, because if you let it sit, it will sit and it will carve carve something into you that is not real, and you will be confused about your reaction to things, and you won't have a clear understanding. And so if your mother lies to you and says, I want to treat you as an adult and let you know that, hey, we don't have money right now, or hey, you can't have this because of this reason, then it's your right to demand a reason. It's your right as a child to say no, to tell your parent what's up, because the generations, we as adults borrow the earth from the future generations. So we have to treat the earth and the young children with kindness and respect and generosity. And some of us weren't given that at a very young age. Some of us were abandoned by our mothers or fathers or both, and told lies that people loved us when they didn't. No, no being can love another being as much as the mother can. And so to commit that travesty of adultery, to commit that travesty of sending your child off to a maid or a a nanny, or even the system wants you to believe that babysitters are adequate. No, this is not the natural course of life. This is a, a trauma that should be experienced by the fully prepared. And in Africa, that meant you were with your mom until you were of age to do ceremony or to do ritual or to take a profession. And I was abandoned when I was 2. I was sent to live with my grandmother. This is not something that I have to deny or try to bring up. My mom was in the military, and she raised me until I was 2, so I was never given the explanation of why she had to go off and do whatever she had to do. But I do remember when she came back, she was living in the same city with me while I was with my grandparents, and I remember she had a job at the casino. So that can tell you what she was up to, and my transgressions in life are connected with hers. And if I've gone through what I've gone through, then I know that she was doing what I was doing, and that's not okay. It's not okay just because your mother abandoned you that you can abandon your child. It's not okay, and that has to stop. We have to break these chains, and I, as a father, will pledge unto my children that I will never abandon them. So I know what you meant when you stood in church and you said I was a mistake and that this was your chance to start over. And I admire you for that. But it was not okay to still leave me in the dark back then and to leave me traumatized in the church house back then. So these things have become cyclical and you never addressed it with me. And shame on you for that. I pray you never do it again in any of your lifetimes ahead. Because as your behavior stands now, what you're doing, you're going to reincarnate. And the way you talk about transformation, you're going to reincarnate quickly. So I suggest you ask for more time. And that's a piece of advice. But no, there is I've seen women who, after committing adultery, I mean abortion, they're killed. They die. They they're halted from going down the dark path. And so I know of the burden that it takes, and the duty to fulfill motherhood. So if I speak on a woman's body, it's because I'm connected with it, and I have every right to say what's okay and what's not okay. But yes, these abandonment issues, especially in the black community, it's like we're still behind on things. People want to get at arms with, oh, it's not just the black community. No, let the black community heal what the black community has to heal. We can't be racist. It's impossible because we don't own anything. So we can't enforce you to leave us alone. And so you're always there, and we always have to beg after you. So have some respect for what we have to go through and what we're still going through, because your bosses and your cousins are still enforcing. So, as I say, black people need more healing need more direction, need more opportunity, and uh, need more respect, because what we have to go through. I was given to my grandmother, and I was passed into the hands of an abusive stepfather, and so these generational traumas, they get darker than just him beating us like he was white massa, looked like white massa, and that speaks to you on the idea of phenotype in in faces and in skin color. There are some melanated people who have the phenotype in the face of a Caucasian, and therefore should be treated as double agents, or those beings that need the most healing, or that have the most to traverse. Because, truth be told, we are all fine and sensitive to energy, and the the nightmares that I had after being